You ever hear the sound of gravel under unfamiliar tires and just, no, nothing good is coming? That's what kicked off this mess, a Tuesday morning that started like any other coffee and hand house quiet as a held breath and Lake St. Mary laying out blue and silver past my porch. I'd spent more mornings than I could count staring at that lake thinking retirement was going to be a peaceful ride. Instead, I found myself right in the crosshairs of the slickest bunch of land sharks I'd ever seen, and trust me, I've seen plenty. They rolled up just past 8-3 black SUVs looking more like a funeral convoy than anything neighborly, all polished chrome and vinyl HOA logos. No call ahead, no hazard lights, not so much as a honk to say hey. Three men got out late 30s to 50s dressed sharp in matching polos carrying clipboards and cameras like they'd been rehearsing for this moment their whole lives. One strutted up the drive folder in hand, grin stretched tight over his teeth. "Mr. Davenport," he says, like he already owns the place. "That's me," I tell him, and make sure to plant myself just inside my own damn door. He gives me a generous offer for my land full market value plus $7,500 to relocate like I'm some inconvenient garden gnome he needs to move for a new pool. I don't even look at the folder. I just tell him flat out 30 seconds to leave or the sheriff can read their offer in the trespassing report. This house built 1948. Never was, never will be under any HOA. They don't budge. I point to the red camera light blinking above my porch. Yeah, that habit never left from my old job in state investigations. That's when the smiles finally drop. I slam the door in his face and let them stew. They leave, not fast, not slow, which tells me this isn't their first time pushing folks off their land. By the next morning, there's a white envelope taped to my gate red stamp screaming, "Legal notice," like something out of a spaghetti western. I fish all morning, hoping it'll feel like a bad dream, but nope. The letter inside isn't just an offer, it's a 7-page notarized poison pill fake map, and all citing some made-up community development agreement of 2018 that never existed, at least not in any real county file. My property's now a priority acquisition zone, apparently. That's when muscle memory takes over. I copy everything, scan it, timestamp it. Then I pull out the old orange commission lanyard ugly thing, but it used to mean something, and call a buddy down in Augusta. Reed owes me, and he knows better than to ask questions. While I'm waiting on him, I spot fresh yellow X's spray-painted on my land. One on a boulder by the lake, one at the end of the dock, another on a tree deep in the woods. Not kids, not vandals. Industrial marks, the kind you see before a developer brings in a bulldozer. On top of that, I get a new property valuation letter, suddenly claiming my taxes up fourfold for pending commercial integration. I call the county office the real one, and the clerk just sighs, says I'm the third guy this month with a fake document sporting the same gray triangle watermark. That night, I install new cameras everywhere. Around 2:40 a.m., headlights slow roll along my tree line. No plates. At 3:19, my motion sensor pings by the boat shack. Someone's broken the lock and taped a note inside. "You can still sell." You know what I mean? It's not the words, it's the threat hanging in the air. So I build myself a little war room, maps, printouts, facial enhancement software, the works. One SUV's registration is expired, the other's a ghost in the DMV. Old California redevelopment forms, doctored overlays, LLCs that never pay taxes. It's like seeing my old cases just with my name as the mark this time. Reed calls back with names: Kyle Marin, ex-realtor with a rap sheet in Arizona; Brady Ellison, volunteer muscle whose dad's on the Millwood HOA board; Ray Carpel did time for property fraud upstate New York, once posed as a fake zoning inspector. This is a grab crew, not some HOA overreach, but organized crooks hiding behind the community mask. Things escalate fast. Early Friday, 2 environmental inspectors roll up clipboards out claiming to check for chemical runoff into the lake. I let them poke around, and wouldn't you know, they find a blue drum under my tool rack. Unmarked, hidden under netting I've never seen before. They open it, test for pesticide, come up empty, but the real test comes after I pull the footage. Sure enough, 4:37 a.m. Some goon in a Millwood logo hoodie plants the barrel himself. I send everything to Sandra Mills. She sharp has private lab contacts. Her guy finds the residue is lakefront tree clearing solvent, the kind Millwood used on their developments 2 years back. Never anything I owned. Then the story leaks. I write a fake HOA memo hinting at a sale to a foreign developer, set it loose on the nosiest local blog. Within hours, it's wildfire HOA board members panicking and chat lawyers whispering in diners, community watchdogs sniffing around the right names. Someone even leaves me a voicemail. You keep throwing dirt, you're going to choke on it yourself. That's when I know I've got them on the run. Enter Justin, fresh law grad with a family grudge against HOAs, courtesy of his aunt's house in Oregon. We set him up with a fake resume and have him slide into Millwood's community engagement project. In 2 weeks, he's sitting in board Zoom calls, updating their parcel transition spreadsheets. Quiet kid takes notes, records everything. One night he warns me they've marked my place plus 2 neighbors, Fletcher and the Mon widow, for forced buyouts. Pressures on resistance levels rated all that. Next week, he hears they're going to fabricate violations against me, claim my doc's non-compliant. That's the final straw. We gather everything: fake documents, tax letters, the planted drum, Justin's memos, the threat calls. Sandra files a cease and desist for harassment, defamation, emotional distress. We blast copies to the county, state, and the feds. Millwood tries to counterclaims. I'm defaming them, stirring up anti-foreign hysteria. Cute. But Justin has the smoking gun. A board member's voice on tape. We'll bury him in paper, bleed him out until he folds. That's intent, not just bullying. We file suit, me, Fletcher, and Mon. Civil court, 32 pages of fraud, conspiracy, abuse of homeowners outside HOA lines. Judge grants a hearing. Millwood shows up with a small army of lawyers. I show up in jeans and the oldest coat I own. Sandra cuts through their case with surgical precision. She exposes the forged tax docs, the planted chemical barrel, even the bogus environmental claims. Judge flips through the files, looks right at their lawyers. You're saying he contaminated his own land with your solvent. Silence. Then Justin's audio. The paper and bleed line lands like a sledgehammer. Judge refers the whole case to the state attorney general and federal zoning fraud investigators. Local papers eat it up. HOA mafia lakefront scheme exposed. Next thing I know, state regulators are auditing Millwood's last 10 deals. The FTC's sniffing around. Even a U.S. district attorney asks for a private briefing on RICO charges, the kind they use for organized crime. By the time the smoke clears, the HOA's board president is indicted, resigns in disgrace, mugshot and all. Her right-hand man flips, testifies, and gets shipped off to Florida with a blacklisted resume. The Muscle Boys, Carpel and Ellison, get 9 and 6 years apiece. The HOA dissolved. Assets liquidated to pay damages. Me, Fletcher, and Mon, we split almost $900,000 and get our legal fees covered. Not bad for a bunch of stubborn retirees. But the best part, peace. No more SUVs, no more yellow X's. Just fall leaves, quiet water, and my own breath coming easy again. Sandra drops by for coffee, tells me she's heading out west for her next fight. Justin's got job offers with federal clearance. That kid was born for this. Me, I file a deed addendum. No HOA, no easement, no annexation, not ever. The county clerk asks if I'm planning to sell. Hell no, I say, and I mean it. So, here's my question. For anyone who thinks this was just a weird old man making noise, what's your line in the sand? When does community become conspiracy? When do you say enough? Drop your stories, your thoughts, your battles in the comments. And hey, if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with a crooked HOA, or you just think justice should still mean something in this country, share your experience below. Let's make some noise they can't bury in paperwork.